I work out in the ocean for a living, and while I'm out to sea, I like to order tools and parts when I come home. Well, that day's today. I have some pretty cool stuff to check out. A couple marketplace power wheel machines, a stupid simple tools, spanner wrench for the shop, and a huge box of milling machine upgrades from littlemachineshop.com. All right, let's get to unboxing. Ah, sweet. This is a N14, 14N rather. 3JT to R8 SuperChuck. I hope that's R8. Sure does look like it. Great. I didn't have a chuck that would fit the mill, so let's head over there real quick. Right, there's a locating pin on this. I'm not really sure. Awful big chuck for a small mill, but I'm just gonna get the appropriate size tape measure for this mill here. So long as I don't plan on drilling anything thicker than 2 inches, I think we'll be all set. Oh, there's a fine feed. I'm selling this thing a little short, aren't I? I guess this quill doesn't go up and down. It's just the, yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking the quill went up and down. That is not true. Nor does this. Then you get the Bridgeport. Saddle cranks up and down. It doesn't do that either. So just have travel on the Z-axis. Yeah, that's pretty short. That's not very tall. But I've got some stubby drill bits over there. And there are taller columns and there are extension kits. So anyway, pretty nice SuperChuck. I think it was under $100. Pretty good deal. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Although it seems like a newer one. I've heard the older ones are much higher quality. Doesn't seem to need a rebuild or anything, so that's good. So here's my 16N for the lathe. Much more robust build, it feels like. So I've heard the newer Jacobs chucks are not as rugged as the old ones. I don't know if that to be true, but either way, the rebuild kits are pretty expensive. So Timken bearings. This is a 6206 and a 6007. These are for rebuilding the headstock of that mill. Bit of a mantra on ships. Bearings are cheap, replace them. Relative to the time it takes to rebuild a pump, super cheap. All right, this is from Colton Industrial Tools. I've seen their stuff around, I don't really know much about them. Yeah, they're made in China, so this was my get out of jail free card if the SuperChuck had the wrong arbor on it. This is a, what is that, 3JT to R8 arbor. I'm sure I'll have some use for that. Something else. Oh, this already got opened, mostly because I was curious. So if you remember, there was a situation on our second project where I was trying to drain out a fuel line and could not do it. All right, so this was a purchase from eBay, Metro Good Stuff. Nice note. It was $25 in their Matco hose pincher offers. I don't know, I was trying to mess with the fuel line and didn't really have anything good to crimp them off with. So I picked these up. They're pretty small. I thought they were ratcheting for some reason, and these are not. Just, I don't really know how they stay compressed. Yeah, I guess they do. Some sort of magic, Matco. Pretty cool. Ah. I wasn't actually going to bring, here, let me take you on a little trip. Yeah, the light's not the best, but so here we are underneath the deck, and I found these bad Larrys. $100 for both of them. There is a, looks like a mid 2000s Cadillac, and this gem is a John Deere Gator, 12 volt, 2-speed plus reverse. XUV 550, and I plan on fixing this bad Larry up for little buddy. So that's the trip. Sorry if the lighting was poor. So I've got it hidden under there. Little buddy is awful interested. My wife said he was over there the other day, stick his head underneath going, "What's that? What's that? What's that?" My wife scooped him up and said, "Oh, let's go ask Dad." And luckily he forgot about him. So I think I'm going to keep him tucked away until I start working on that one. This thing's like $600 brand new. I mean, I feel like for years I've seen those things for free on the side of the road, just get rid of it kind of thing. And when I started looking, I couldn't find one anywhere. It's just about how it goes. But hopefully we'll have a cheap toy for little buddy to destroy, you know? So anyway, here's the conversion kit. It's got a step down. I guess it's not a transformer. It's a DC to DC converter to go from, you know, whatever you input, 17 to 55 volts down to 12 volts. You know, he's probably a little young for it, but I don't know. My dad put me on cool stuff when I was pretty young, and I always really liked it. So as long as I can keep him safe, why not? Helmets are cheap. You know, those are good memories. So I remember my dad, I was driving around in a plow truck when we had 4x4 duct tape to the pedals so I could reach them. Like, that was pretty fun. So if I give him a little taste of that, I think it'd be a pretty good memory. Yep, there's this is the wireless remote control switch. It's got 40 amp relay. This is a 20 amp fuse. I haven't done the math on what one of those batteries has for amperage, but I don't really know. I haven't looked at the loads yet, but I think this will be 40 amps, double the line, so we'll be okay there. Stupid Simple Tools. I'm becoming a pretty big fan of these guys. And it's the Stupid Simple Tools 014 Precision Spanner Wrench. This is a pin wrench or a spanner wrench or whatever. In case anybody doesn't really know what these do, they're called the spanner wrench. That word is used somewhat interchangeably, I feel like, but there, a pin wrench is what I've heard. I don't know what this grinder is. Probably too big for anything we got here, but it's the only handy example I have. Also like that they're, they got a little angle to them, so you can get in. This is the most common application that I've come across for these wrenches. So, you got your arbor, you get the nut, and you just come in here, you spin the nut right off the arbor, change your situation out, and then generally, I don't actually tighten these. Every once in a while you work behind some animal that jam those things on there. You can't get them off, so you need to bust one of these out. Also, they're handy for like really thin cutoff wheels. There's a little, everybody's done the find a corner and bash this thing off there, and it usually spins it off. Not recommended, but often performed. But the thin cutoff wheels, especially if they're your own, you're not working in an industrial setting where time is money. When you're working at home where money is money, getting those thin cutoff wheels off without damaging them can be tricky, and that's where these are real nice. This thing's so pretty. I do feel, say what you want, but I feel like if you have like a nice tool that looks good, feels good, performs gooder, that you tend to take care of it. So I like buying nice stuff. But a bunch of broken off tabs in this thing, and they came that way. Yeah, so that one's bent. If you can see that. And then over here, same sort of thing. Let's spin it around. That's bent as well. So we're about to find out how good Stupid Simple Tools product support is. And I'll let you know. Alrighty, we're almost to the good stuff too. We are at the good stuff. Yep. Missed. So we bought the cheapest milling machine in all of Facebook Marketplace. This is a Cummins Industrial Tools milling machine, mini milling machine. So far as I know, they only made one. This is it. So I did on the last episode 3 of Junk I Bought While I Was Out to Sea. I went over how I picked this up. So I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in that. It's like 20-minute video. I think the second half is mostly on this thing if you want to get up to speed. But anyway, I've got it. It's very small. I already had somebody comment like, you're gonna regret buying that. I hear you. You gotta love one you're with, you know. I've used big mills before, got them at work. I know what a big mill is capable of, and I know what this is not capable of anyway. So I hear you. However, as Keith Fenner says, it is what it is, and we'll make it what it isn't. And to help us make it what it isn't, I got on littlemachineshop.com and ordered a bunch of parts. So let's go check those out. All right. This is a chip tray for a little mill. Hoping that I did the you figured this would be something just, stamped steel. Be pretty easy to come by, but I couldn't find anything somewhere. And then they sold it for $39.95, 40 bucks. I was like, oh, whatever. Shipping, $36.80. Telling you, home machine shop, killing me with the shipping. That's just the beginning too. Well, I got some good packaging here for my $1 million in shipping. Base, tilting column, high torque mini mill, closeout. Part number 4027. So I didn't need this, but it was so cheap. And I bought a new saddle for the larger table, and I wasn't totally sure that saddle would ride on my existing base. It's not like I could just walk out to the garage and measure it. I'm on a ship, so I bought that, and it was crazy inexpensive. Base, tilting column, high torque mini mill, closeout, $29.95. This thing was 30 bucks, and 30 bucks, why not? So I wonder if there's any difference. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. Like another inch of y-axis. The feet are further apart. I can't tell you if the casting is any heavier, but if I had to guess, it probably is. It's one of the things they talk about for other components. So it's $132 to ship this box of stuff. It's just boggles my mind. Alrighty. 4233 high torque mini mill table. So they sell a kit that you can buy all this stuff together. Unfortunately, it's out of stock because they're missing one component which I really need. The column is what's missing, the solid column. They don't have the casters. So we're just cobbling together what upgrades I can do until they get that solid column in stock, and then I can upgrade that. So this is the larger table. Get it out of this VC bag here. Yeah, so, oh good, I'm glad I didn't buy one of those. I thought about it. The scale comes with. Sweet, I did not know that. Yeah, this is a larger table. As you can see, it's a significantly larger table, so that's pretty cool. I definitely haven't inspected a lot of new machine tool castings. I don't really know what I'm looking at. I mean, that part's flat, and that's the flat part, so Hopefully, we got. So these are the ends for inside of the table. This is part number 4032, feed screw X-axis. So if you remember, right, you got Y, X, Z. So X is across and it goes across. Y is the other one. And Z is the vertical. I never had a problem remembering Z for whatever reason. But X and Y, I had to, somebody taught me that memory device. So that's the longer X-axis feed screw. I think I bought the Y-axis one as well because, yep, right here. Here's the Y-axis because I was not sure if the one I have would be long enough. So this is where the stuff started to add up. Not many people are buying tilting column bases because nobody goes that way. They always convert to solid column. The X-axis, that was 30 bucks. This is 26 bucks. You know, like table, like I said, was 100. The end plates, this is actually really cheap. 40-30 was $12. And 40-34 was $6. So I don't know what the deal there is. Maybe they just had some extra stock. Yeah, X and Y axis Gibbs were $4. The different sizes. I'm just gonna leave them in the package. And this is the saddle for the high torque mini mill. That will fit the larger bed. So that was 40 bucks. This stuff's pretty cheap. I mean, relative to a Bridgeport, very reasonable. I think I would have bought the whole assembly put together if they had that solid column, but they didn't, and I wanted to get moving on this, so here we are. Here's all the little bits and pieces. You got the feed screw, nuts, X and Y axis, a couple bushings, a keyway, just stuff that was cheap enough that I figured I might as well buy. An oil, like an oiling port, which again, it was pretty inexpensive. So I'm hoping I did all right with these bearings. I'm hoping I can harvest one bearing off the other machine. According to their website, they got a great website, and according to their website, they should work. So those are all the bits and pieces that put this together. You know, it's cold. It's real cold. So in upcoming videos, you're going to see some of the improvements that we've made here. But the big one being insulation, and I've got a heater. I've got all the raw materials. I just need to get the work done. Also, it's not in any video. The vise is permanent. It's not. I was waiting for the epoxy. Instead, I've got like concrete inserts that are also epoxied in. It's pretty cold out, so I'll wait overnight. Maybe it warms up a little bit, and I'll really hammer them down. But it's set up. I'm working on the lathe. I can kind of lean against it, which is kind of cool. Get to my my carriage feed pretty easily. So I don't know. Seems like a reasonable spot. I feel like settling a spot for a vise mount is like designing a kitchen. You just go around in circles. At some point, you just got to make a decision. So put it right there. Hopefully it works out. Anyway, kind of in the background, hopefully we'll have the John Deere episode out by the time you guys see this. And unfortunately, the 66 John Deere 110 sort of went on the back burner for a little bit while getting this shop squared away so it's a little bit warmer. Definitely has taken some time. Work's been crazy, but I'm gonna take a little time off this winter, so hopefully get caught up in a bunch of projects. And also, I kind of want to get that Power Wheels thing done for my little buddy, so I might make a few special episodes. I'll probably do a special episode on setting up the milling machine, putting the larger bed and the saddle and the base on. That'll be kind of fun, getting that all going. yeah, that's a little look ahead for the channel. That's about all I got. If you like the content, you know, you enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, drop me a comment if you got the answers to any questions I asked. And yeah, have a great day.